Yo, yo, yo. What up, people? Excuse me. Happy Thursday. What's going on? What it do? Oh, God. There we go. What's going on, Ferret? How you doing, buddy? What up, energy girl? How's everybody doing? Good morning, good day. Good to see everybody. Another beautiful day. It's good to be back, man. Always good to be back after the day off. Got a few new VODs on the YouTube page. I didn't get as much done yesterday. Excuse me. Didn't get as much done yesterday as I wanted to, but got some things done. That's better than nothing, I guess. Hope the week's going well. Hope you guys had a good day off, a good day yesterday while the stream was down, while the stream was off. Do this. There we go. Perfect. All day yesterday, dude. Sorry, brother. You know, at least the new PC can handle it just fine, you know. Glass is half full, buddy. Glass is half full, dude. You know? Yeah. Play like 40 other games while BG3's on in the background. No issues, right? It's all good, right? Hope everybody's doing well, dude. Let's go ahead and do what we do. Let's jump in here and let's do video gaming news for December 14th. He had already thrown him in. I showed him off one day, but I can pull him back up in just a second, Ferret. He shot him to me, actually, and then I pulled him up for everybody. That might be why you haven't seen him. I think it was a DM, and then I showed him off, so. But you must not have been around. So, yeah, let's do this, man. We will, do our news, and then we'll play another day of BG3, man. Have some fun, so, happy Thursday. Let's go do it. I'm still a little bit tired if you couldn't tell. But it's alright. We'll work our way out of it. I got the Java, dude. Let's go. Let's do it. Yeah. Starting it off. The Epic Holiday giveaway already started. Yeah, started as of yesterday. Yeah. Oh, bummer, dude. Yeah, okay. Well, tomorrow's gonna be like maybe half a day of streaming for me. I've got some family stuff going on tomorrow. Family celebration kind of stuff. So, I will be doing like half a day probably. Probably be ending sometime around lunchtime. Yeah. So, might not miss too much tomorrow, dude, if you're not gonna be around. But Bungie needs your help. Bungie needs to help themselves before Bungie needs to rely on I think our help. Sounds like Bungie is crushing themselves a little bit, which is unfortunate. You know, the more I read about Bungie, the less I care to help them, to be honest right now. Oh, man. As a matter of fact, dude, that entire, like, talk we had the other day, that's all live on YouTube now. Where is that? Yeah, here you go, dog. Check it out. There you go, buddy. Hate to see it, but that talk we had with that article that Vault sent in and everything, yeah, that got turned into its own YouTube article. That was tough to read, man. But yeah, I was getting ready to touch on that. I'll touch on that. The fact that Epic is already starting their holiday giveaway. The fact that they're starting it off with some free DLC stuff for Destiny 2, and you've only got about what, 3.5 more hours right now? 3.5 more hours, it looks like, to get your hands on that content before the next one will be heading our way. Next free giveaway, next 24-hour giveaway will be headed our way. I've been trying to prepare people for this, you know, get people prepared and ready for the content you can get your hands on. So, you know, if people aren't taking advantage, there's only one person to blame. You know. But we'll talk about that. I'll pull that up. We'll start with, grab that. Yeah, we already talked about Fortnite beating Google in court. Yep. Cloud gaming, Xbox Cloud gaming is available on Meta Quest headsets now. Interesting. Bro. Wait, it does? Oh, you're right, it does. I don't think it said that previously. I wonder if that's a bug, or if this is just they're not starting the giveaway stuff, the 24-hour giveaway stuff until a week from now. We'll read about it. We'll see. Huh. That is weird. I thought yesterday whenever I saw this, it actually was showing this as like a 24-hour thing, which is the norm for their holiday stuff, right? But even the Destiny 2 stuff says free now through December 20th, which wouldn't normally be the case. We'll take a read. We'll see. We'll figure it out. Thanks, buddy. I think that has changed since I first saw it. Yeah, that's a little bit weird. Starfield design director calls out unfair game criticism. Don't fool yourselves into thinking you know why it is the way it is. I mean, one of the reasons it is the way it is because it's a Bethesda game. You know, I mean, look, to be honest, outside of the realm of how hard game development is at all, you know, part of the reason why Starfield is what Starfield is because it is a Bethesda game and it uses the Bethesda recipe, right? I don't think there's any getting away from that notion, man. I mean, I think that's just part of what this is, man. You know? There we go. I think that's what I want right there. So, we also had an article from last week that people have been having some fun with, dude, on YouTube. This whole thing that we talked about in one of the news segments, right? The weird responses to the negative reviews on Steam and stuff. People have been having a little bit of fun with that, which is funny. You know, it hasn't been like one of our like most viewed videos or anything, but there's been a few comments here and there, and people have been having a little bit. The Starfield videos are always fun because you get those people that are like diehard fans of it, and they're like, anybody that talks trash is just out of their minds to those people, you know. Which I feel like is the way Starfield and Bethesda addresses it too, you know. But, and I've said before, I don't think it's a bad game. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. It does. I think the thing that's weird is that, I mean, I mean, this is like life in general, right? If you don't feel the same way as somebody else, you're wrong, and it's such a weird thing. People can't be civil about it, you know? If you don't like what they like, or you don't practice what they practice, or you don't, you know, you're not in line with what they believe or you know, then you're wrong, and they're gonna hate on you for it. It's a weird thing, dude. You know, I think Starfield is probably a very respectable game. It's to be fair, I don't think it's gonna be on something on par with a lot of the other games that came out this year that we've seen hit in the 90s as far as consensus reviews and stuff. You know, what did Starfield get? Like high 80s, I think. What's it at on Metacritic? Something like that, right? Low 80s. You know, low 80s. And the user score, I mean, this here's the thing, like I'm gonna be falling much more in line with, like, you know, if you look at 11,000 user ratings at a 7, I'm probably gonna take a mix of these. Take like an 83 and this is probably like a high 7s game, which is respectable, but it's not mind-blowing, I don't think, you know. So I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be nearly something on par with like a game like Tears of the Kingdom or BG3 or even something like Super Mario Brothers Wonder. But again, everything's a bit subjective, right? Everybody's got their preferences. We're talking about a lot of different genres of games, and that's okay, dude. I think people just need to be like okay with it. But I don't think there's any getting away from the fact this is, in fact, Bethesda's recipe. It's gonna feel a lot like Bethesda space, Fallout space. Yeah, I don't know, something like that. I think there's gonna be some evolution there, but at its core, that's probably what it's gonna feel like. And I don't know. That's not gonna be a super mind-blowing thing for a lot of people, I don't think. Just to take what Bethesda's traditionally done, which is a pretty good recipe, and just put it in a different environment, you know. A lot of people are going to enjoy it. There are going to be some other people that go, well, this is kind of the same thing I've seen before. And so, I don't know. But it has created a lot of controversy, that's for sure. You know, that the amount of people that have, there's not a lot of middle ground for it doesn't seem like, and the amount of people that want to go like toe to toe about whether or not it's a good game or not seems very, very large. Seems like there's a lot of people that want to dive into this controversy. So it's pretty funny to actually sit back and watch. I think I think one of the things that this game does have going for it is it's very moddable, and I think that it's got a massive universe and a lot of real estate in that universe for either Bethesda or modders to work with. One of the criticisms a lot of people had for the game was that it felt kind of bleak with all that real estate just being empty, but there's potential there, I think. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know. But it is funny to watch people just like be standing there with torches, you know what I mean, at each other. Rah-rah-rahing about it. It's kind of funny. See what else we got. Woo, we're gonna have to be making a schedule in about 2 weeks. Just over 2 weeks, we'll be making our 2024 schedule. I've got an article up about Blade as well. Asking people to come up with cheats. Yeah, feel like it's just about inevitable anymore, isn't it? Like, I mean, doesn't really matter. That was weird. Dude, my monitor just flickered on me. That's not a good look, man. I mean, obviously some games are more riddled with cheats and hacks and stuff than others, but I feel like nowadays it's just so wild, dude. How many people just want to hack and cheat games and stuff? It's weird. Which, to be fair, a game like... and I've said this before, I don't really give too hot craps if somebody wants to go cheat in their Skyrim game, if somebody wants to go cheat in their flipping Starfield game or whatever, you know. Whatever. It's not, that doesn't affect me, and it doesn't affect other people, you know. Whatever. They want to have some fun, they want to go cheat in their single player games or whatever. But when people want to take that into the realm of multiplayer, live service, online, competitive gaming, that's where I have an issue. Yeah. I don't think that the rampant cheating of like single player games is probably a good thing, because I think it probably promotes people cheating in other live service multiplayer competitive games as well. And I'm more of a traditional, I'm going to play the game the way the game was given to me, right? But I really don't give two hot craps if somebody wants to skew their gameplay experience in a single player game. But I do very much care if somebody's going to ruin other people's gameplay experience in a multiplayer game by doing it, you know? Well, and see, I would take it a different way. I don't want people ruining my experience in a co-op setting, multiplayer, and I don't want people ruining my experience in a PvP setting. I don't want cheating or hacking or anything in any of my multiplayer games at all. I don't want it. I don't want somebody getting an advantage in, I don't care if they're on my team in a co-op setting, you know, getting additional resources, you know what I mean, or something like that. I don't want it. It ruins the experience for me. So both feel just as bad in my opinion. Both of them ruin the experience, as far as I'm concerned. So I don't think there's any place for it at all. They both feel just equally as atrocious, and you know, I'm adamantly against it. I don't care. Online live service, if it's competitive, if it's co-op, whatever, if it's multiplayer environment and there's cheating, it's terrible. It shouldn't happen. That's my take. So I do have a Blade article up. All right, you guys ready? Ready for this crap? Here we go. I don't understand why every single outlet was reporting that the Blade game being made was not being developed by the Redfall devs, and only shouting them out as Dishonored or the Deathloop devs. 1 second. Oh, for real, Ferret? Yeah, there should always be reporting tools. I think a reporting tool for anything, you know, in any kind of live service multiplayer game, reporting tools are a requirement for numerous reasons, you know, for numerous reasons. There's a lot of cheating and hacking and stuff. If it's very, very visible, quite obvious, then it's a good thing to have those reporting tools. But also for people that are breaking terms of service for other reasons, like discrimination, promoting self-harm, you know, anything. I mean, if there's anything that's worth reporting, reporting tools need to be in there. Absolutely. So back to what I was talking about here. I find it hilarious that oh, for real? Yeah. Is that even possible? Can you kill people in a PvE event? That's interesting. Oh, for real? Interesting. That's funny. Weird. That seems like a pretty bad, I mean, I don't know. Seems like something they really might need to take into consideration there then for, the way the game was developed, yeah. If you can't really, I mean, I can't remember, but can you have just like friendly fire and stuff? That is a thing, right? Friendly fire is a thing, yeah? No friendly fire in the game? See, that's the thing. If there's not going to be friendly fire in the game, then you shouldn't be able to damage each other with anything like that, right? So that's kind of a bad implementation on the side of Bungie, in my opinion. But it's a hard thing to differentiate too, because there are a lot of things that enemies can probably do that mimic that, and they're, you know, them being able to go, oh well, this was a player riding a glider and the glider hit, and you know, but they do need to do their best to differentiate those things. And sword swings, though, sword swings could damage people even though there's no friendly fire. Interesting. That's not good. Huh. That's interesting. Wow. Yeah, seems like they needed to do some work on the side of getting that stuff sorted. Interesting. Yeah, so back to this. This was a huge concern for me. And let's start this off with the fact that Arcane has done good things in the past, but let's be real honest about what the most recent thing that Arcane has done, which is Redfall, right? And Redfall was a huge disappointment. It had performance issues. It had huge issues with, you know, the content it was bringing to the table for people. And funny enough, it's a vampire game, right? And then we find out during the Video Game Awards that Arcane is bringing Blade into modern gaming, a vampire game, which I'm assuming it won't be the same type of vampire game as Redfall, but still kind of funny nonetheless. A bit ironic that Arcane are the ones that have been tabbed to do this, yeah? And then they get announced at the Video Game Awards as the developers behind games such as Dishonored and games such as Deathloop. But nobody wants to say anything about their most recent title, which was probably their biggest disappointment, right? Like, everybody just wants to forget about it and just sweep it under the rug. And I'm sorry, but being the person I am, I'm going to look at the most recent things that a company has done as an indicator for what their quite potentially going to be bringing to the table for us. I'm always hopeful they're going to be doing better things, right? But this whole situation was really weird to me. You're talking about the Game Awards, they wouldn't talk about it. You talk about the following days afterwards, the only things that you would see while we would do our video gaming news searches would be Deathloop dev bringing Blade, Dishonored dev bringing Blade. Nobody was calling out the fact that we're getting Blade from the same developer that brought us Redfall. Nobody. And I don't understand why. Is it simply because Arcane's a subsidiary of Bethesda and ZeniMax, and therefore part of Xbox and Microsoft, and nobody wants to call them out? Is everybody scared? What's going on? I don't understand it. But it's weird to me. In this, predicament we all find ourselves in, where we're constantly having to be the ones that protect ourselves from these companies that produce terrible quality products, right? Nobody else does that for us. There's nobody else protecting us but ourselves. Yet here we are in a situation where Blade is getting hyped up now by the same developers, but is being developed by the same developers that brought us Redfall, which they tried to hype the crap out of that game. And I saw through it, dude, the entire time. The game did not look good. They kept trying to tell us what we should be seeing, even though it was quite obvious it wasn't there. It's a bit weird for me that everybody is blatantly disregarding this terrible product that is their most recent product and going straight to the previous things they had done, which were respectable products. But it's not the most recent thing. It's not the most recent indicator of what they are potentially going to be bringing to us. And I find that very, very, very off-putting. Pinky is everybody's friend in Team Fortress 2. Yes. Friend. I think that's the word. Have you gone back and started playing that game again, by the way? I know you took some time off. I think we talked about that, but I can't remember what you said. Netflix has 90 games in development. Let's talk about this. See, friend, yeah, that's the Pinky I know. Did you at least drop some strawberries on him? And by strawberries I mean TB'd him after he died. Yeah, Ferret doesn't even really like PvP in Destiny, right, Ferret? You don't even really like PvP that much in Destiny, correct? It's more of a PvE kind of vibe for you, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Yeah, we know this. Do you think that would ever happen? Do you think that... Now, here's the thing to take into consideration. The Fortnite branding is moving into this metaverse sphere, which is weird to me, instead of it being Epic, Lego, and Epic. What's their car racing one now that Psionic's doing, you know? And Epic Fortnite. This is a weird thing for me. Everything's being called Fortnite instead, which is really weird for me. I don't understand that play. Fortnite is a game. Epic is their platform. But they're turning everything into Fortnite as their metaverse instead of Epic as their metaverse. And I don't understand why. Because when I think Fortnite, I think Battle Royale. Nice, dude. Nice, yeah. Oh, really, Ferret? Yeah. So, yo, what's that? Oh, interesting. Yeah. I mean, it's like a what is it, like a micro M.2 drive? Yeah. Mini 2 terabyte. Yeah, M.2. You can see the notch and stuff, yeah. Interesting. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I haven't really seen much of this kind of stuff yet. I mean, to be fair, it's very, very, like, I mean, it's going to be comparable to like a micro SD card, right? Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, but for an M.2, yeah. I mean, people had to know this kind of thing was going to be coming our way, right? Because the solid state storage in the form of like micro SDs and stuff have been there for a long time in a very, very small form factor. So people had to know that like this kind of technology was going to be coming our way, I think. But I haven't really seen anything like this in large part on the consumer side of things. So this is pretty interesting, dude. Pretty cool. And obviously this is a different, you know, this is for a NVMe rather than like a card-based cartridge kind of situation, right? So it's a different kind of storage solution. But just comparing size and stuff like that, right? Faster and smaller, dude. Faster and smaller. What's the 1 terabyte? Nice. Cool. Yeah, that's probably why they're being promoted like that. It says add speedy high capacity solid state drive storage to your handheld gaming PC. Right? Yo, Soup, what up? Fair RGBs? Yeah, no doubt, right? Yeah, and that thing needs to be throwing up unicorn vomit, dude, out of the back of your case, dude. But yeah, I noticed that, Ferret. That's why I think it's promoted this way, is because they've built it in a way where it can be used in the like the PC handheld sphere. Yeah. So that's what I was kind of figuring, which is great. That's awesome, man. Yeah. What up, Soup? 1 second, guys. That's pretty cool, man. Sorry, my nose just jacked this one. No, Ferret's not a parrot, though. Definitely a fluff noodle, dude. Yeah. Parrots are dope too, though. Yeah, I think this is, you know, do you guys think we'll ever see the, like, Nintendo skins in Fortnite? I don't know. I doubt it. I'll tell you why. I doubt it, and I'll tell you why. Fair. This is the thing. I'll tell you why I don't think it'll happen. Okay, so Epic is creating their metaverse, right? And don't be fooled by this like trend word. Metaverse is already something a lot of platforms have. And if you look at Nintendo's had their own metaverse, right? Which is basically their own. That's a completely different thing though, Soup. Hold on. It's basically their own gaming universe, right? Now, here's the difference, Soup, and this is why it's completely different. Fortnite is not known for their characters, and Nintendo is, right? Fortnite is known for their one game, Fortnite, which basically collabs with all other popular pieces of entertainment to bring other characters in. Nintendo, on the other hand, is known for their explicit licensed characters, right? Copyrighted characters. And Nintendo already has their own multiverse, if you will. So where Fortnite and, well, Epic's trying to build this multiverse. I hate that flipping word, but their own gaming universe. So now they've got like their own kind of version of a Mario Kart-esque kind of game that Psyonix has built for them off of the kind of Rocket League vibe. They've got their Battle Royale in there, obviously, with Fortnite base game. They've got the Lego stuff in there, right? What happens? No, not what I'm talking about. What happens if Nintendo, and you got to look at this as a business, from a business point of view from Nintendo, right? Well, what happens if Nintendo does license their characters out to another potential metaverse, right? That means that people can start accessing their characters in other similar games without having to buy Nintendo products. Yeah? And that is a loss as a whole by Nintendo. They want people being gatekept because Nintendo's pull for a lot of their consumer base are their lovable, likable characters, right? And to keep people buying hardware to access their games, to access those characters, comes from just that. Making people have to buy into their products. And if their characters are accessible on another platform with similar games, that eliminates that must for a lot of consumers, right? So I'm not saying it's impossible that we would see maybe some Nintendo characters at some point on another platform. I don't think it'll happen right now. I don't think it's a smart business play on Nintendo's part, and I think they know that. See what I'm saying? That's two completely different sides of the coin. Would it be very, 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 very good for Epic and Fortnite? Absolutely. Absolutely. But it probably wouldn't be nearly as lucrative. No matter what kind of contract Epic gave to Nintendo, it wouldn't be nearly as lucrative in the long run for Nintendo, right? Well, that's a very vague kind of statement there too, Soup. Why can Rockstar release the same title for a decade when another company does it? They're instantly bankrupt. Don't act like Rockstar is the only company that's been releasing a title for over a decade, man. That's not true. There are plenty of other developers that have been releasing IPs for well over a decade and are very successful with it. A lot of it comes down to, can you do it correctly? Right? I mean, what if it's the remastered ones over and over? Well, I mean, to be fair, Rockstar didn't even remaster anything recently. They ported a game. They ported a game. They didn't even remaster anything, friendo. So like RDR1, they didn't touch that game. They ported it. They didn't remaster it at all. That's what I'm saying. But they're not, again, they're not the only ones that have done that kind of thing, you know? Well, it was $50. Well, it might have been $70 where you are, yeah. 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 So, I mean, look, here's the thing. I mean, I think that a big part of that comes into what I talk about a lot, which is, you know, obviously a big part of it is how much clout do they have about the kinds of products that they've developed over the years, you know, and what kind of company have we built them up to be. Yeah, we've seen so many companies, dude, that have survived the atrocities that and just monstrosities that they've become, you know. And it's because they've almost become too big to fail in a way. You talk about companies like EA or Blizzard or you know, Rockstar is definitely one of them now. I mean, and it's there's an amount of you have to understand what has happened there. Yeah. There have also definitely been companies that at one time had been a big thing that have died off, right? Also because they weren't able to sustain the same way some of those other companies were. But it's not like Rockstar's the only one that has done that kind of thing, you know? They're definitely not. It doesn't feel good what they're doing, in my opinion, but they're not the only ones, not by far, you know. But let me shoot you an article here. If the day before closed down the day after. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we talked about that the other day, Soup. Yeah, we talked about that. Here you go. Here's let's talk about a you know, it's easy to focus on the negatives, right? It's easy to focus on the negatives. And we do it a lot because it seems like on the especially on the AAA side of things, there's a lot of bad stuff to focus on in this industry, right? Which is why it's important that we also pick out the good things that happen. Like earlier this year with Tango and them dropping a AAA game for $30 that was an absolute banger in Hi-Fi Rush. And then you talk about that article that I just dropped in chat right here, which is about Santa Monica Studios. Santa Monica Studios, if you don't know, they make the God of War games. They're a first-party studio for Sony and for PlayStation. And you know me, I'm not a big fan of PlayStation, but I think this studio is one of the better AAA studios that's out there in the industry right now. I really do. I think they make quality products. Whenever I played 2018's God of War, I played it the day that it released on PC, and it was amazing. It felt so good. They ported that game over, and it felt fantastic. You know, from a game that was so highly rated on a console to be ported over and to just to feel that good, and to the experience as well to just be content-wise fantastic, phenomenal. And then, like, right here you see where, you know, the Sony Santa Monica Studios goes, you know what, we're gonna make a little bit of some extra content right here, some DLC. We're gonna kind of shadow drop it a little bit, just let everybody know about a week ahead of time that it's coming, and anybody that owns the game gets it for free. You know, that's a rarity nowadays, man. It feels like, from a big studio. And on the flip side, like what I'm talking about right now, what did Square Enix do? Square Enix announced Final Fantasy 16 DLC at the same time and was like, you're gonna pay for it, you know? Where Santa Monica was like, yo, we just want to say thanks to all of our fans for supporting the game and making God of War what it is, and here's some extra content, you know? Which is dope. Which is awesome. So I think that, you know, we pull out the bad things a lot because there's a lot of bad things that happen in the industry. It's easier to focus on the bad, right? It is. In life, it's easier to focus on the bad. We have to call out the good stuff too, though. And I think Santa Monica Studios is doing good work, man. FF16 is just, I don't know. I will never play that game, probably. I don't really care to. It's Devil May Cry with a Final Fantasy skin on it, dude. I called this game out too. I don't think it's a badly developed game. I don't think it's a Final Fantasy game, though. I think that for what the game is, it's a well-developed game. I think that it's a beautiful game, but it's not a Final Fantasy game. And I'm also turned off by the fact that half of your gameplay experience is cinematics. I don't want that. I don't care to have that. I don't want to play a 30-hour game and have 15 hours of it be cinematics, dude. That is a turnoff to me. I don't want that. I don't want to watch half the game. A cutscene can be a great thing. It can be a very immersive thing. It can be, you know, something that potentially gives you a nice little break for a second to catch your breath while maybe you've gone through some intense sections of a game or something, you know. And when placed in the right sections and done very well, it can be a very gripping, very immersive kind of thing. But I don't want to watch half of the gameplay experience. I don't want to watch a movie as much as I'm playing a game. If I want to watch a movie, I'll go watch a movie. You know, I find that to be off-putting. That's not for me. It just isn't. Curious what makes it not a Final Fantasy game? They basically stripped most of the RPG elements out of the game. Soup. Go do some research, man. I've talked about it enough. So, at the core of what Final Fantasy has always been, it's been a fairly deep RPG game. This game is not. It's not. They took the developers of some other games that are traditionally just really combat action melee games with very little focus on RPG elements, and put them onto Final Fantasy 16. And that's what they made. They made a game that is just focused on doing what other games, like take Bayonetta or Devil May Cry, things like that, and they made a Final Fantasy game in the same form of those games. And they took almost all of the RPG elements out of the Final Fantasy game. And for most traditional Final Fantasy fans, that's not going to cut it. That's not going to do it, man. Final Fantasy games have traditionally been fairly deep. Party management systems, numerous characters that you can work with to flesh out your party the way you see fit. Lots of different ways to grind for different powerful items in the game and equipment and grinding levels and experience and ability trees and from everything that I've educated myself on about that game, most of that stuff was stripped away. And so in large part, the core of what Final Fantasy has always been was just pulled out of it. So I'm not saying that Final Fantasy 16 is a bad game, but I don't think it's a Final Fantasy game. I think they put a Final Fantasy skin on a different game. And I think it shows with the sales. That game did not do very good for them sell-wise. Not even, at least not nearly as close as what they expected a Final Fantasy game to do. And I think in large part it's because they turned off a lot of traditional Final Fantasy fans. But if you need more than that, go research it. You'll find a lot of stuff about it. You will. Want a Knights Templar battle game. Yeah. Word. I'll tell you one. I've got a number of games that I'm really psyched about for the coming year. Obviously, Baby Steps is one. Dragon's Dogma 2 is one. But one that I haven't talked about very much here lately is going to be this. Let's see. What is this? I never can remember the name of this flipping game. Just a second. Oh, there it is. There it is. Here we go. Yeah. This one right here. Unicorn Overlord. Let's go. Yeah, I knew what you meant. March 8th, dude. March 8th, this game comes out, and I am stoked. I'm stoked about Unicorn Overlord. Yeah, boy. I am so psyched about this game. It'd be so dope if this was coming out on PC, you know? But instead, it's like only coming out on consoles, unfortunately. Feels bad. Been watching the History Channel. Nice. But this game looks sick, dude. And really, for me, it's fairly nostalgic. There's an old game called Ogre Battle on the Super Nintendo that I was in love with. And this is like a spiritual successor to that game. It was made by Atlas as well. And this game is just looking like a modern take on that retro Ogre Battle game. I'm so stoked. I can't wait. If you want to see some more out of it, I'll link it for you. But wait, what? Glasses delayed to 2025. What do you mean? Yeah, we're going to talk about the giveaway right now on Epic. We got to figure out what's going on there too. I thought it was already starting the holiday giveaway stuff because it seems that way, and now all of a sudden it looks like it's switched over and changed to being a week-long thing for Destiny. I don't know what they're doing. but we'll see. Wait, what? Gotta look up PC on Epic? Oh, okay, dude. Oh, bummer, Soup. That sucks. Sorry, friendo. Yo. Alright, let's take a look at this. I'll look it up whenever we actually get in here and start taking a look at everything, okay? I'll look it up when we finish our article searches and stuff. PS5 players can now play one of 2024's biggest games early. Let's see what this is. Yo, True, what up? What up? Are we still okay with the mic and everything, guys? Is the mic sounding better than it was? Are we good? Little feedback. Bow, bow, bow. Okay, cool. Thanks, Ferret. Thanks, man. Good. Solid. Thanks, guys. We've got that up. I'm always tired. Yeah, me too, Ferret. Narcoleptic. Story of my life, dog. Yeah. Yeah. Can confirm, dude. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Whatever, gaming Bible, you buttholes. I don't believe you. It's all right, dude. You know, it could be worse, dude. It could always be worse. You know what I mean? It could always be worse. I'm not gonna complain, dude. Two games available today with Game Pass. See what these are. We'll talk about all the sales that are going on Epic while we pull up the free games and the the PC building simulator thing too. Dude, I would not want to do this. Play 7 From Software games in a row without being hit once. No, I'm good. I don't care about that at all. That's an impressive feat, dude. Don't get me wrong. Like, congratulations, buddy. I would mauled out, dude. The amount of the amount of practice that would take. I'm afraid that, like, by the time I got finished doing that, I would never, ever, 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 ever want to play another From Software game again in my life. Let's look at our other search real quick. And we jamming, dude. Moving and vibing, you know? Yeah, yeah, I know, true. Yeah, sorry, friendo. Agreed. It's hard to, in my opinion, especially on a platform like the Switch, anything, any kind of console, it's hard. It's really hard to find free content, you know? Had to initially buy one of their games? Wait, what? I thought that you could get it with the, buy, or just getting on their newsletter or whatever. You could get a free one of their games with their new... And nothing? Wait, what? Weird. Weird. Yeah, I mean, I promote stuff like that just because... free, you know, gaming's such an expensive venture most of the time anyways. And if I can find free ways... or ways for people to get free content, then I feel like that's appropriate. But that sucks to hear that. I'm sorry. I thought that everybody was supposed to be able to get a free game just signing up for their newsletter. So if that was not the case, then we were misinformed. And that sucks, and I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Netflix is making Squid Game stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be like, we'll see how it is. I've already got some Netflix stuff up, which is why I'm not pulling this up. Netflix has 90 games in development. It'll be in here. It'll be something similar to like Among Us, right? Probably. They're trying to play off of that a little bit. We'll see how it does. I mean, until we see what they're actually bringing to the table for a game like this, I don't think there's a whole lot of point in getting hype. I think that Netflix is already behind the game here in providing people access to their platform. That's the thing I'm waiting to see. Once they actually give people more access to their platform outside of their mobile app, that's where I'll get excited. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, dude. Jesus, that game was so hard as a kid. Fallout 4's next-gen update's been delayed till this coming year. I think we had already kind of read about that, but just know that. As well as Spider-Man 2's New Game Plus early this coming year, okay? Here's what's crazy, you guys. Do you want to talk about companies that like literally can't fail, and they're total balls? Modern Warfare 3 has already become the second best-selling game of this year.
I'm the one in control. The one that brings the heat.
29% positive on Steam.
The one that's defined.
All-time reviews. Even the recent reviews are 32%, so it's right on par.
Who never back down. The one busting rhymes.
It's so gross. It's so gross. We've created these monsters that literally just almost cannot fail, dude. Unless we were to create a united front as gamers and consumers, gaming enthusiasts, and where everybody would go, nobody will buy a Call of Duty product again, ever. You know, that's the only way this gets better, and it won't ever happen. Yeah, yeah, $70, $100. Yeah, and it's balls, dude. This is the world that we've, you know, in at least some part created for ourselves, you know. And it's, I'm sorry, people don't like to hear this, okay? People don't like to hear this, but in some capacity, this is a world that we have created for ourselves in the video gaming industry by not paying attention to the quality of products being brought to the table for us and continuing to pay for this kind of crap year on end, you know, continuing to support these terrible companies. We've created ourselves, you know, we've made this bed, dude, and now we gotta lay in this filth. It's gross. Second best-selling game of the year so far. And dude, this game just released on the 10th of November. This game is behind Hogwarts Legacy right now as the best-selling game of the year right now. And Hogwarts Legacy released what, March? Something like that? It's pretty gross, man. Monka Christ is right, dude. Yeah. I mean, how crazy is that, man? Whoop, my bad. It's crazy, man. Again, I mean, I think my hope for Activision Blizzard is that Microsoft turns them back into something respectable, but dude, they got their hands full. I tell you what, though, I'll be celebrating Bobby Kotick being out of that company come New Year. What a flippin' scumbag. Here we go, dude. We were talking about this earlier, right? Starfield ends 2023 as a commercial success and marketing hype disaster. Let's read this, dude. We got a couple of Starfield articles up today, you know. put a flippin' put like a razor in there or something, you know what I mean? Like an old flip phone razor. Be like, just in case you need a phone, dude. Just in case you need to see what a real good mobile game is, check out Snake on this bad boy. You know what I'm saying? Get wrecked, Bobby Kotick. I can't even believe that, like, to be fair, I mean, I can understand it, but I still can't believe it. That of this year's games, Hogwarts Legacy is, and it's had a lot more time, right? It's had a lot more, but it's if something like Tears of the Kingdom, where it was multi-platform, it would definitely have outsold Hogwarts Legacy. Okay, it'll just be aware of that. Hogwarts Legacy being multi-platform gives it a huge advantage over a game like Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, so people that are going, how is Hogwarts Legacy topping sales charts over something like Tears of the Kingdom? That's how, right? Tears of the Kingdom you can only play on one platform. You guys have, you know, if you were thinking something along those lines, you have to keep that in mind. Otherwise, Tears of the Kingdom would have blown this out of the water, I'm pretty sure. But it always feels bad for me to see a game like this that I had such an issue with performance-wise sell so well. Well, yeah, it is a potential gold mine for them, but they're also, you know, where they would lose out is all of that, everything that comes along with the proprietary nature of things, right? So on one side, yeah, it could be very lucrative. On the other side, it could be very bad. All this stuff they've done for years and years, being able to continue to sell their games at a high price point and everything like that, that would go away for them. So there would be a negative side to it too, and the hardware side of things as well, because especially, well, I mean, yeah, you know, you take a look at Nintendo has never produced as powerful of hardware really as any other platform, right? So they've always done a great job of producing more inventive kinds of hardware, but not as powerful. So if they start releasing their content in a multi-platform fashion, there's going to be a lot of people that prefer to play those games on a different platform because performance is just going to be better. Just like we've talked about with all the emulator stuff, right? The emulator stuff, people love playing Nintendo games on PC emulator because PC emulator gives you a much better experience than their hardware ever will. Their hardware is always behind, right? So you get better refresh rates, you get better resolutions. I mean, it's just everything's a much better experience on an emulator than it ever is on their own hardware. And if you start opening that up, it's kind of over for them hardware-wise. Aside from the fact that on release, they do great stuff, you know, in the inventive sphere of what gaming offers. They do. Don't get me wrong. But it would change things for them, absolutely. Though they never will. They'll never go multi-platform, dude. Not that I can see anyways. And that's one of the big reasons also. You're absolutely right. A24 is going to produce a Death Stranding movie. Interesting. PS Plus gets GTA 5 and 18 more games in December. Cool, let's take a look. Last page, and then we'll dive in here, guys. Oh, gross. Pinky, you should have quit, dude. Yeah. Who do these people think they are? Who do they think you are? It's one of those days, dude. Yeah, okay, hold on. Put all this right here, this epic. So we'll figure this epic shenanigans out. It's a good look for our RNG. It's a good outlook for our RNG today, buddy. Yeah, so look, man, there's not even really any point in pulling up the whole E3 thing. Dude, I called this years ago. Whenever E3 first was like going through their pandemic related issues of shutting down E3, but they weren't doing anything to try to provide any kind of digital platform to hold their showcase, you know, their event. And yeah, I called this a long time ago. They keep saying every year, we'll be back next year. We'll be back next year. We'll be back next year, right? And nah, mate. I called it, dude. I was like, they're done, dude. It's over. It's over. And I mean, this is it, dude. E3 Expo, long-running video game trade show, calls it quits. They're done. They're done. We knew it, dude. So I've talked about it too much over the past couple of years. I called it a long time ago, and it was very obvious, man, that they weren't going to be able to make a comeback. 8-Ball supports you. Yeah. Well, we'll see about that, dude, once we get in there. Super Mario RPG, I gotta play that remake at some point. Okay, let's dive in here, dude. Oh, dude, mixed signals, man. 8-Ball's playing games right now. 8-Ball's playing games. Oh, dude. Yeah. 8-Ball's playing games, man. All right, look at this, dude. A24 will produce Death Stranding movie, and fans are hyped, man. Gross, dude. What is that? A baby? Disgusting. The live-action adaptation of Hideo Kojima's hit game Death Stranding will now be produced by the top indie studio A24. The official news has now been teased to fans, and they are hyped about the collaboration between the two. Here's the full story. Obvious bait for hyping. Yeah. Death Stranding is one of the best video games out there and has created a benchmark for video game graphics and storytelling. Hideo Kojima, video game visionary and creator behind the game, who also helms Kojima Productions, had collaborated with Hollywood actors and directors to craft a cinematic experience for fans of his games. However, after the game was well received by fans, with the director's cut offering more into its post-apocalyptic world, Kojima announced that a live-action adaptation of the game was in the works with Hammerstone Studios. Since the video game creator now introduced two of his upcoming projects, DS2 and OD, another major independent film studio, A24, has joined hands to produce the Death Stranding movie. In a shocking turn of events, fans who thought Hammerstone would be at the helm of the film production, they are even more hyped with A24 involved with the project. Independent film studio A24 has now made it official on their website. They are partnering with Kojima Productions on the live-action feature film on Hideo Kojima's hit game Death Stranding. While there wasn't an announcement made on their social media page, a product listing of an A24 logo t-shirt on their website carries the studio's logo, but with the trademark strands hung from the letters, similar to the game's concept. In the item description, the product house makes an official statement about their involvement with the upcoming movie project. Looking at the announcement, fans swiftly rushed to social media with excitement and turned in their thoughts, with one saying, "This could really be a very cool movie." Another chimed in, "We will be seated." A third user commented, "As long as they cast Norman Reedus." Right, dude, nobody else could do it. While both Kojima and A24 are yet to make an official announcement about the project, we'll keep you updated with the latest developments right here at Dexerto. Yeah. I was going to say, dude, if Norman Reedus isn't playing in this, it won't work. If it's literally Death Stranding, the same story as the game, this will not work without Norman Reedus, dude. Well, of course you are, Ferret. I don't think anybody around here would be real surprised by that notion, buddy. I'm actually more surprised to find out that Anna Kendrick's playing Link, dude. That's pretty wild. PlayStation Plus game catalog gets GTA 5 and 18 more games in December. The PlayStation Plus game catalog is getting 19 new games in December. Of the 19 games, none are day one releases. However, the PlayStation Plus members are getting one of the biggest games ever in Grand Theft Auto 5, as well as some under-the-radar titles like Metal Hellsinger, Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin, and Grime. All games will be available starting December 19th and require PlayStation Plus Extra or Premium to play. PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium: Gigabash, Grand Theft Auto 5, Grime, Mega Man 11, Metal Hellsinger, Moonscars, Moto GP23, Proteus, Salt and Sacrifice, Shadowrun Returns, Shadowrun Dragonfall, Shadowrun Hong Kong, Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin, and Tinykin. PlayStation Plus Premium: classic games Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, Mega Man Legacy Collection and Collection 2, Thrillville, and Thrillville Off the Rails. If you need the list, I'll link it for you. No response there at all, dude. No response there at all to that. I'm surprised. I thought it was a pretty smooth little toss in there that would get somebody ramped up about the Legend of Zelda movie. Did anybody even hear me? Like, what's happening in here, dude? Everybody's just, they're so used to me now, you know? They don't even pay any attention anymore. PS5 players can now play one of 2024's biggest games early before everyone else. PS5 users can now try out one of the next year's biggest games before its release. What are they talking about here? On December 21st, man, that's a pretty cool date. It's a pretty nice day, right? That's like 12/21, you know? So December is the 12th month, 21, you know? So you flop those. It's pretty cool. There aren't many games dated for 2024 release, which looks like it may end up being a little sparse compared to this year, which has been jam-packed with major releases. Also, if you guys didn't know, December 21st is quite often the first day of winter in the northern hemisphere. Little gee-whiz information for you there, you know? Yeah. That said, if you're on PS5, there are two major releases to look forward to that are coming next month at the start of the year. The first is The Last of Us Part 2. Yeah, Pinky. Yeah. Coming next month of the start of the year. The first is The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. The second is Tekken 8. Right now, there's no way to try out the former, but there is a demo for the latter on PS5. So, Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. Why is this even happening? Can anybody answer that for me? This game isn't even, what, 3-4 years old yet? Cap it, bro. But we're getting a remaster already because Naughty Dog's scared to do anything new. Feels bad, dude. But Tekken 8 is coming out at the beginning of the year, and there is a demo that you can play right now. As of today, December 14th, all PS5 users can now play a demo of Tekken 8 from Bandai Namco. This is a week earlier than Xbox Series X and S and PC, which won't get the demo until December 21st. According to Bandai Namco, the demo for the game includes story modes such as Story and Arcade Quest, as well as battle modes such as Super Ghost Battle and Versus. There isn't online play, nor the ability to transfer your save data to the final version of the game releasing next month. Meanwhile, the content above will be limited in some capacity. For example, story mode will be limited to Chapter 1. As for what characters and what stages will be playable, it will only be a select few of each. Demo users will be able to use Jin, Kazuya, Nina, and Paul across Sanctum, Urban Square, Evening, and Yakushima. How long the demo is going to be available, they're not sure. Lack of specifications suggests it's probably going to be there until the game's release. maybe even beyond that. Bandai Namco will be releasing Tekken 8 next month. It will be releasing on PS5, Xbox Series S and X, and will be at the $70 price point US. And if you want to get the game on Steam for PC, it'll be $60 US. All right. If you need any links, I'll provide this. Two games are available today with Xbox Game Pass December 14th, including Far Cry 6. Welcome to what is currently our final Xbox Game Pass drop for this year, featuring 2 new additions to the library. We already knew about Ubisoft bringing Far Cry 6 to the service, but Obsidian has also surprised us with a PC edition. Here are your new Xbox Game Pass arrivals for December 14th. Ooh-wee, dude. Far Cry 6, console, PC, cloud, available later today. This was probably yesterday. No, this was as of 5 a.m., so later today. And Pillars of Eternity Definitive Edition. Oh! It's already on console, but it's going to be on PC. Which of these will you be playing? I'll tell you which one you should be playing. Pillars of Eternity, dude. You can look at the trailers for both games. Pillars of Eternity and Pillars of Eternity 2, I can confirm, absolute bangers, dude. Absolute amazing games. I haven't ever gotten big into the Far Cry stuff, man, so I have heard that, like, Far Cry 6 is decent. I think Far Cry 5 consensus was a little bit better, but, you know what to expect from Ubi, right? So, check it out. Netflix has 90 games in development. Platform launched 40 games this year, 86 since its initial foray into games in November of 2021. So we're 2 years in, right? I've talked about this. We're 2 years into Netflix's venture of taking on this whole division of gaming for their platform. And I'll be a broken record here, but I feel where Netflix is very, very behind this deep into the offerings they're providing is only allowing mobile access to their games, you know? Did I mess something up, bro? Nice, dude. Yeah. Nice, Timwin. What up, dog? Probs not. I don't know. Okay, cool, dude. Yeah, I love to hear that, dude. Love to hear that. Yeah, I mean, look, man, to be fair, that game just released. It needs a little bit of bake-in time, probably. If it's not major bugs, you know what I mean? And the majority of what you're experiencing is overall a pleasurable experience. It just needs a little bit of bake-in time, right? Dialogue ambush Tinwin to ask about the game. Oh, nice, dude. Nice. Yeah. So I think that, I mean, even with BG3, right? BG3 has had plenty of its own issues since release. It doesn't negate the fact that it's a banger of a game, you know? I think that that's one of those sentiments we try to get across all the time is just because, you know, we don't ever expect a game to be flawless on release, right? We are understanding as gamers and gaming enthusiasts, we're not that critical, dude. You know, we understand that games are going to have some unforeseen issues, a little bit of bugginess on release. It's the way it is. Yeah. And I'm guessing that they'll continue to patch that game. Yeah. So they'll get it fixed out, dude. You know, I think the main thing is like, there's a huge difference between a game having some of the usual random weird bugginess that it can inherently and be expected out of a game's release, as opposed to it quite obviously being unfinished, right? There's a huge difference there. And if the game is unfinished, that's unacceptable. If it's just like, oh man, this kind of sucks, it's a little bit buggy, you know, but they'll get it fixed out, you know, then that's more acceptable. We understand that, right? Yeah. But I'm glad you're enjoying it, dude. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Yeah. We might have to see if we can get it on the schedule for this coming year or something, because I've been really interested in it, especially since, you know, we've touched base a number of times since you've been playing it before it was fully released and stuff. It's good to see you, buddy. Happy Thursday, man. Netflix has 90 games in development, and getting back to this, like, one of my big issues with Netflix's platform, I've been a proponent and an advocate of thinking they had a pretty good strategy here since their dive into gaming, right? I think that it wasn't a bad strategy for getting in here. They got a lot of good games on their platform, right? They've got this whole sentiment about, if you're going to play games on our platform, you don't have to worry about ads. You don't have to worry about in-game monetization because you're already buying into a subscription of our platform. Therefore, we don't feel like you should have to deal with any of that kind of stuff. And I like that. That makes sense, right? But over about the past half year, especially, I've been getting pretty critical of Netflix. They've got a pretty solid lineup now of respectable games. Not all of them, but they've got some bangers on their platform now. You talk about things like Hades, Into the Breach, Oxenfree 2. I mean, the list goes on and on. They've got some really good games on that platform. And where I have a huge issue is that they are only really still giving people access to these games through their mobile app. Apparently, they're working on it, but they're talking about how the number of gamers on their platform is not where they want it. They've got plenty of games that I think a lot of people would like to play on their platform, but not everybody wants to play their games through their mobile application. And at 2 years into this venture, this should be fleshed out already in a much greater capacity than it is now. You should be able to access their games through a desktop application. You should be able to access their games through an application on, you know, consoles and stuff like that, where those games can be played, you know. If those games are also playable on that platform or whatever, then you know, like if Hades is on Xbox, then you can play Hades through Netflix on Xbox or whatever. You know, it needs to be that way. As long as that hardware can provide the functionality to play that title, you should be able to play it. You should be able to pull up their platform, pull up their library of games, have a controller plugged in and play it, man. You know, as long as the hardware is there that you need to run that title, then there shouldn't be an issue. And I think that this whole situation of them gatekeeping people behind only being able to play their games on a mobile application is really short-sighted, man. Oh, that's all it flippin' says? Wait, what's going on, dude? Okay. Feels good. Let me see something. Yeah, that's probably, you know, some people might have, that's weird. So, let's see if we can pull up a different article here. Yeah, Timwin, I mean, that's usually the case, right? I mean, you know, some people, a lot of the PC side of things is just based on your hardware configuration. And it's so varied for everybody, right? We've talked about that a lot. Some people have maybe lesser issues than you. Some people maybe have more issues than you. But I've been looking at the reviews for the game, and overall, it looks like people are really enjoying it, you know? Phone apps to stop people from account sharing. Maybe, dude. I don't know. Using location data could be. I mean, They're not doing themselves any favors, though, by not figuring this out, you know? It's like, it almost feels like they're like, well, you know, mobile gaming's huge, and we shouldn't need to do anything else, you know? That's not the way that works, dude. Yeah. That's the way it almost comes off to me. I've heard things that they're like trying to work on giving people other avenues to get into playing their games on other platforms and stuff, but it's not going fast, that's for sure. Let me see this. Let's look up a different article. Let's look at this one. So, after announcing that the Grand Theft Auto PS2 trilogy is joining the service this month, Netflix Games has offered a brief look at what subscribers can expect this coming year. Among the announced titles is a sequel to 2021 indie hit, as well as retro adventure starring a certain blue hedgehog. Sonic Mania Plus will join the Netflix Games roster in 2024 as the game makes its mobile debut exclusively with the streaming service. The full console experience, which include every mode, zone, and playable character, will be available through the Netflix app when it launches. Announcement also revealed Cozy Grove Camp Spirit, a surprise sequel to the 2021 indie hit. The game, whose developer Spry Fox was purchased by Netflix in October of 2022, will once again see players become a spirit scout as they befriend and help animal apparitions on a haunted island. Two other games coming to Netflix were included in the announcement: Game Dev Tycoon and Fashionverse. Fashionverse is touted as a first AI-enhanced 3D mobile fashion game featuring inclusive models and photorealistic scenes, while mobile mash hit Game Dev Tycoon's new Netflix edition will let players develop games based on movies and TV properties as part of their studio's portfolio. Netflix Games is included with every Netflix subscription, with a selection of games available on the standard Netflix app on iOS and Android devices. Games are selected and downloaded through Netflix, then launched as a separate app. They need to figure it out, dude. But you're probably not wrong there. That's probably part of it, Pinky. But it still sucks, you know? I don't know. I guess I should have maybe killed the music there a little bit. We'll pull it back up after we finish the rest of these articles. My bad. Epic is giving away a bunch of free games over the holidays, starting with Destiny 2 Legacy Collection, which you can see right here. Here's the weird thing. You've been jamming? Yeah, I have too. That's why I didn't turn it off. I was vibing out pretty hard. You want me to just keep it up? Do you guys like having the music on while we go over all the articles? Does it drown me out when I'm talking? Or, I mean, because I'll keep it up. I need to know what you guys think about it. If you enjoy the music while I'm going over each individual article. No, it's not up to me. It really isn't. I mean, I can do what I want to do, but I want to do what is more entertaining, I guess, you know? Do you guys, is it a distraction? Does it drown me out? Or is it just nice to have a little bit of some background vibing going on while we go over the articles, you know? I've been doing it different ways now, and I'm cool with either one. It doesn't distract me at all. I'm always jamming and vibing out while it's going on, but I was just afraid that it might be a distraction. It's just subtle. Let's just keep it popping then, dude. Let's go. My bad, dude. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, as we continue to grow and I have the money to afford orchestra for the news segment, then I'll start working on getting that going, you know what I mean? But I'll just need to start working on getting a little bit more profit from the stream and allocating a bit of that profit towards orchestra budget for the news section. We'll figure it out as we move forward, all right, buddy? So The Epic is giving away a bunch of free games over the holidays, starting with Destiny 2 Legacy Collection. I saw this yesterday. Here's the thing that's weird, and we're going to try to figure this out, okay? So the thing that's a little bit weird here is if you look, normally whenever they start their holiday stuff, it's a new game every 24 hours, which means like normally every, another hour and 45 minutes from now, we would get another game and this would go away. Which is what I thought I saw yesterday when this first came about, was that the next day we would get the next game. But being brought to my attention this morning by Ferret is that it looks like this Legacy Collection is through the 20th, and a week from now we get the next mystery game. So maybe then we start the 24-hour giveaways? I don't know. So let's take a look. I've got a couple of articles up. We'll see if we can figure this out. For the 5th year in a row, the Epic Game Store will have daily free games to give away during the holiday season. This was yesterday morning, okay? About this same time, yesterday morning. No. Pacific time. So like 6. It was about 22 hours ago. The Epic Game Store is celebrating the festive season with not only a themed holiday sale, but also a daily free game. You'll have 24 hours to claim each one of these games, and once you do, they're yours to keep forever. First game that people can grab is Destiny 2 Legacy Collection, with the daily giveaway starting next week. Okay, so it is confirmed here that this is a week-long giveaway for the Destiny 2 Legacy Collection, okay? And then the daily giveaways are going to start on the 19th. And ending on January 4th. So it's going to last all the way through the holiday season of what most people would consider to be like the Christmas, like New Year's part of the holidays. The people that celebrate Christmas anyways. Which means that you can get one free game each day for 15 days. Right? Epic has regularly given away games during the holiday season since 2019. They're usually a great selection of games to add to your library every year. It's random mode time. For example, last year saw games like Death Stranding, Sable, and Wolfenstein: The New Order given away to EGS members. Epic typically reserves its biggest and most high-profile game for Christmas Day. You'll have until 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, or 10 o'clock our time each day to grab the daily freebies. There's no confirmed list of games that'll be offered. It's likely to mix a bunch of AAA and indie games during the days of this promotion. Worth noting, the event will temporarily replace the normal weekly release of free games until it ends in January of the coming year. Right. So this kind of introductory period of the holiday season, they're giving away this Destiny stuff, which is the base Destiny 2 game is already free to download. You need to go grab that first if you want it, this like Legacy Collection, okay? So you go not download it. You go add it to your library, okay? So if you go to Epic, you add Destiny 2 base game to your library, then you can get the Legacy Collection, which offers a substantial chunk of DLC to enjoy as well. It includes the Shadowkeep 2019, Beyond Light 2021, and the Witch Queen expansions from 2022. It also unlocks access to 37 powerful exotic weapons, 15 exotic pieces of armor, and the Stasis subclass. In case you've missed out on Bungie's sci-fi epic, Destiny 2 is an interstellar adventure in which you operate as a guardian, one of the chosen defenders of the cosmos, who can use several light and darkness powers to fight back against malevolent forces threatening all of existence. It's worth noting that this collection doesn't include the Lightfall expansion, as that is currently available as a separate purchase, okay? But this is a substantial amount of DLC. I think that if you have been interested in Destiny, this is a good thing to go ahead and grab. Normally, Destiny 2 is more of a free-to-try experience where there's a good amount of content, but you're always being kind of slapped in the face with, oh, if you want to do this, you need to buy this DLC. If you want to do this, you need to buy this DLC. You know, and it adds up pretty quick most of the time. Sometimes it goes on sale, so it's not quite as chunky of an expense as it could be, but it can add up. It can add up. And this right here is a lot of stuff. It's a lot of the DLCs. And I think if you've been interested in trying Destiny 2, this is a good thing to grab. You've got a week to grab it. Get it now. That way you don't have to worry about missing out on it. Get the base game first. Add it to your library. Then go grab this. I'll show you, okay? Right here. This is, if you're on the application, which I have, you can also just go to their website and grab this, okay? They've got a holiday sale going on. I'm going to touch on this in just a moment. Let's get the random modes in here. Oh, look at these random modes today. What is this weirdness? God, what is that? Gross. Blech. Okay. So the epic stuff, we'll look at the sale. There's coupons as well. Featured giveaways. We'll look at all this stuff in a moment. But if you scroll down a little bit, you go to the free games. This is where they always do their giveaways, right? I've been telling everybody for weeks now that you should start an account on Epic. That way you can grab the free games that are coming, as well as the free games that are already being given away all the time. Even if you're not a PC gamer right now, you could be in the future, which means that if you grab the free content now, and if you decide to be a PC gamer in the future, you'll have a library of games to go ahead and dive into and try, okay? And especially during this time of the year, they give away amazing titles. They give away notable titles all the way through the year, but they're about to, like we just read in that article, these Destiny 2 Legacy Collection is a great start here to just a lot of nice free content for Destiny 2, which you normally would have to pay for this DLC content. You can grab this, get you a nice jump start on Destiny 2, try that game out, and then in 6 days from now, we're going to start getting a free game every single day for 2 weeks, and they're going to be giving away notable games throughout that period. So be ready for it. Start an account. Grab your free games. It costs nothing but a few minutes of your time to create that account and a few minutes of your time to get in here and grab your free game every single day, okay? So if you actually look up Destiny 2, I think actually if you go to the collection too, if you just click on this collection, there's a link down here, right here. Click here to get the Destiny 2 base game for free. You have to have this in your library before you can get this DLC content, okay? So click here, get the base game, add it to your library first. It's free, always free. Then you can come back here and add in this Legacy Collection to your library as well, okay? Now let's go back to the store real quick. Let's take a look, see what we got going on here. Obviously, Epic coupon, you can get a 33% off coupon. I think this is going to automatically apply to eligible transactions by Epic Games account holders at checkout. Discount will be applied to each eligible transaction, and Epic Games account holders will get another coupon each time they complete an eligible transaction. An eligible transaction is a purchase by an Epic Games account holder of a product priced at or that ends up to, when combined with another eligible product or products, at $14.99 US dollars or more, or local currency equivalent, exclusive of tax and any other fees or charges, and with additional exclusions as stated below. Product pre-purchases are excluded from eligible transactions. See the fact below for more details. But it doesn't mean that this is a coupon that has to be used on any kind of like regular retail price game or anything either. So as long as you've already spent roughly $15 US, you get a 30% off coupon to be spent on any other purchase, right? So that's not bad, dude. It's not bad. There's that. Featured giveaways. What is all this? This is just going to be their the stuff they're giving away. They've got in-game stuff as well. Looks like you can claim some Warframe stuff, Honkai Impact stuff, Fall Guys, Disney Speedstorm. Sorry. Synced, World of Warships, EVE Online, all kinds of stuff. So you can go check that out. And then the holiday sale is going to have a lot of the games that they have on sale, right? Yo, have we looked at reviews for Return to Moria yet? Hold on. I forgot all about that. I kind of was. This game did not look good to me. There it is, man. Nice reject. There it is. Critic reviews are at 59. User scores are 7.1, which is not fantastic. If you put these together, you're basically sitting at like a 6.5, you know? Might be worth you taking a look at, but I didn't see anything that looked super promising here to me in the first place. It looked more like what we see a lot. Reject, what up, dude? What you doing, man? It looked more like what we get a lot, and I kind of called it out too, from these very, very popular IPs, whether it be, you know, The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings, or it's Star Wars or anything like that, you know, where a lot of these developers just make more like a half-ass product and go, well, people will buy it because it's got a popular name attached to it. I was afraid of that with this. I don't think I was probably far off here. I haven't played it, but it's not looking good. But you can see there's a lot of sales going on right now. Alan Wake 2 is $10 off. Ghost Runner 2, 15%. Witchfire is supposed to be very good, by the way. Dead Island 2, 40% off. Assassin's Creed Mirage, 30% off. Hogwarts Legacy, 40%. Remnant 2 is a lot of fun. That's 40% off. Mortal Kombat 1's 40% off. Payday 3, stay away from it. RDR2. RDR2. $20. Some Kingdom Hearts stuff. Outlast Trials. All kinds of stuff. Oh yeah, we need to look this up too. PC building simulator. What was this? Contains content that is unrated and may not be appropriate for all. Is this what you wanted me to see? Ferret. Is this what you were talking about? I'm guessing so. Just because it's not rated yet. Or it's just because it didn't get rated. I'm guessing. So I don't know. There's all that noise. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, and then this is what we already talked about. The 17 free games over Christmas. So right now, again, you get the Destiny 2 DLC bundle for the next week, next 6 days, basically. And then every 24 hours for the next 2 weeks after that will be, you got to log in for that 24 hours, log in, get your free game. Because every 24 hours, it's going to cycle a game in and out, right? You got to be ready for that. Xbox Cloud Gaming is finally available on MetaQuest headsets. Meta CEO Mark Sweet Baby Ray Zuckerberg announced the service would arrive on Quest headsets over a year ago. Over a year after its official announcement, Xbox Cloud Gaming is finally available for MetaQuest users. As a new blog post detailed, MetaQuest 2, 3, or Pro headsets now have access to the Xbox Cloud Gaming Beta app. The post also sheds light on many questions many had over a year ago after its announcement, including how Quest owners can access it. MetaQuest owners will need to have an active subscription to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which costs $17 a month, to use the Xbox Gaming Cloud app on their VR headsets. Sweet Baby's Raise is good. I mean, do you know the meme? I like making my own barbecue sauce too. But Sweet Baby Ray's is good. But do you know the meme? Oh no. All right. So after the news, I'll. You're not old. Shut your mouth. Stop it. I'm gonna learn you. I'm gonna learn you. You and anybody else about the sweet baby Ray's Mark Zuckerberg thing. Okay. It's literally where this emote came from. Okay. Pinky made this emote, and that's where this emote comes from. Young away. Oh, Jesus. Something like that, I guess. Meta also reveals that the Quest controllers will not be supported when using the Xbox Cloud Gaming app. Revealing that you will need to use a supported controller to stream games on the cloud service. Price may be a bit steep for some who strictly own a MetaQuest headset, as Xbox Game Pass Ultimate provides access to not only Xbox Cloud Gaming, but also libraries of Xbox Game Pass for consoles and PC Game Pass. Some of the controllers that support Xbox Cloud Gaming on MetaQuest include the Xbox wireless controllers, the PS4's DualShock 4, and the Nintendo Switch Pro controllers. As a few examples, while the PS5's DualSense controller will be added to the support list in the future. In our review of the Cloud Gaming, Xbox Cloud Gaming, a slippery selection of games and frustrating technical issues hold Xbox Cloud Gaming shy of greatness. But just barely. Okay. So there you go. If you need any links out of here. Yeah, so I'm going to have to show a video off of YouTube. I'm not going to show it during the news segment. I'm going to show a video off of YouTube to educate you a bit. But I don't want to show it during the news segment because it'll probably get DMCA'd out of the, like if I was trying to put my news segment onto YouTube, it would get copyright strike or something. So just give me a second and I'll show you. Last but not least, we got some Starfield news here, okay? So I've actually, you know, Starfield's such a weird thing. We talked about it earlier today. Starfield's a weird situation. It's definitely, it's got that vibe around it where people either seem to enjoy it quite a bit, or people seem to not be very partial to it. Yeah. And funny enough, it along with that, it brings this heightened sense of contention, I guess, whenever people want to talk about it. So the people that love it almost can't handle whenever somebody else talks crap about it or don't enjoy it, you know? If somebody else has this sentiment about, well, I didn't really enjoy the game, it's almost like they just can't handle it. And to be fair, I think that this game is not like going to be a mind-blowing game for most people. I think that honestly, this game is the Bethesda recipe. While there's going to be a little bit of evolutionary stuff because it's a modern game, it's still the Bethesda recipe, just in space. So for the most part, there's not going to be a whole lot here that really is a mind-blowing experience, which is why, you know, it's been consensus reviewed the way it's been reviewed. It's not been something that people found to be as industry defining as something like BG3, or, you know, it doesn't mean it's a bad game. It's just not there for everybody, you know? And it's more just a Bethesda game in space. And for people that love Bethesda and love Bethesda games, you'll probably enjoy that. But for people that were expecting maybe something different, or wanting something a little bit different than the tried and true traditional Bethesda experience, it could be a little bit of a turnoff, I guess, you know? I talked about something with this that was a little bit weird here recently, and I linked this earlier, but if you take a look at this, there's Bethesda had this really weird thing going on here recently where they were like replying to people in Steam reviews. Negative Steam reviews were getting replies from Bethesda. I linked it right there. You can take a look at it. We talked about it. They were getting replies from Bethesda where it was almost like these Bethesda employees were trying to convince people that the game was good. It was really weird. It was really weird. It's not something you normally see on like a review process for Steam. It's more something you see on like a Google review, like where a developer would be like, yo, thanks for the feedback. We're trying to take that into consideration. These are some of the things that we're working on now to try and implement to make that maybe different in the future. But it was different for these Bethesda review responses where they were literally not saying anything about thanks for reviewing, or it was just these big long paragraphs of this is why our game's great. This is everything you can do in our game. And it was a really weird thing to read, man. It was really odd. It was like they were trying to convince these people that they should go play the game, even though those people had already played the game and weren't into it. It was a really weird thing to read, man. But Starfield ends 2023 as a commercial success and marketing hype disaster. Starfield fans are gaming's smartest fans, or so Bethesda's Todd Howard said in the Spacefaring RPG's bustling subreddit. It's a bit of warm flattery fused with careful marketing hype, all wrapped in a feel-good message. Still, I appreciated it nonetheless as one of the first few eager Starfield players bursting through the doors of the game's iconic Frontier starship in late August. But like many others, I only needed to dig slightly past the veneer of new Bethesda game excitement to realize Starfield's release was underwhelmingly normal in a year of unexpected top-tier releases like Cocoon, Humanity, and yes, Baldur's Gate 3. Don't get me wrong, Starfield ends 2023 as a massive commercial success, topping the Steam charts in September and pushing Xbox back onto the map after a relatively disastrous year. It did exactly what Microsoft needed it to do. And yet, between the mind-numbing repetitiveness of its rather empty universe and Bethesda's recent trend of clapping back against negative Steam reviews, yo, there it is. I'm starting to feel a little less smart the older it gets. They actually talk about it in here also. That's so great, dude. It was really weird to read all those. Again, I mean, we have that article. You can see it in chat. Go take a look at it. It's a bit weird. I actually have some of the articles, like or the responses from Bethesda that we go into depth there and read them, and I was like, what is this? What's going on, man? Building expectations. Remember when Bethesda was busy calling Starfield one of the most important RPGs ever made? Back at Summer Games Fest in June, and that a not insignificant portion of its fan base simply ate up the hype at face value. Ever the optimist, I was also reasonably stoked about Starfield at that point, so it was a personal shock when the middling reviews came out later across the board, including our own 3.5 star score, which I think that's probably appropriate. 3.5 to, is probably right on par, The response thoroughly shook up the expectations fans had built up over the summer. After watching June's in-depth Starfield Direct, I expected it to be a blowout release with the magnitude to face off against the likes of Tears of the Kingdom, which was at the time still deep in its post-launch zeitgeist as it celebrated one of the most successful releases in video gaming history. Bethesda games have historically captured the hearts and minds excuse me, guys, and minds of players for years and decades. They're typically massive genre-defying universes that gradually become living platforms for a never-ending stream of often high-quality user-created content. Yeah. The brand new IP built with longevity in mind was positioned to bring a whole new Bethesda universe into existence, all while building upon hypothetically everything the developer had learned over 25 years. Be still my beating heart. Fast forward to the end of this year, and I've thoroughly cooled on Starfield. It's not so much the Starfield is a bad game, it just wasn't everything fans expected it to be, myself included. Not only did it have a slow official rollout of important features like DLSS, frame generation, and HDR, not to mention, there wasn't even a flipping... Oh, god dang it, dude. They missed things like a field of view option for the game on release. Like, I'm sorry, if you're in a AAA developer on release, I'm a little bit more accepting of like an indie game or something, you know. But like something like a field of view slider for a AAA developer is a must on release, dude. That's default, just like button mapping, you know, a plethora of visual options. You know, those kinds of things are default needed parts of those AAA high budget games. And to see games release without stuff like that is just so flippin' weird to me. The former of which took mere hours to become available to PC players via unofficial mods, but it just wasn't the bold new galaxy many gamers hoped it would be. Bethesda's maiden voyage into space was unremarkable due to a mostly empty galaxy with minimal unique stuff to find between lackluster space flight sequences filled with loading screens, plus the hundreds of abandoned structures found on its procedurally generated planetary surfaces. Looked exactly alike once you landed on any of its 1,000 carbon copy planets. Even then, the role-playing quests and the unique New Game Plus twists gave fans enough enjoyment for their time, especially if you opted to download it via Xbox Game Pass rather than buying it outright. Long-term woes. After some initial excitement at launch, the response to Starfield quickly began to cool. That would lead Bethesda to respond to some Steam reviews to defend the game's more maligned parts. I have to wonder if the developer famed for inventing the gorgeous, historically rich, and culturally diverse Elder Scrolls universe is justified in fighting back against negativity instead of simply improving upon its product. On one hand, it goes without saying that if you have to tell your players how to play your game quote-unquote correctly, you've failed to some degree at creating a product that people intuitively want to play, even if added context can help the end user make a better informed decision on how to approach gameplay. Agreed. On the other hand, I don't think Bethesda actually failed at what it set out to do. I fundamentally believe it's a solid game with strong bones. It made a shockwave of positive momentum for Xbox 2, which was critical for the brand coming out of a quiet 2022. I also think it needs a lot of work to meet the expectations that come when you promise your players a dynamic and exciting universe. With this group of developers at the helm, largely the same devs behind the incredible worlds of The Elder Scrolls and Fallout, there's no reason Starfield couldn't improve upon its systems and universe over time, eventually meeting that mark. I've talked about that a lot. So this game has potential, whether it be from Bethesda themselves or from mods, things of that nature. This is a massive universe. It's got a lot of, like they talked about, empty real estate, right, that can be used to expand the experience for game players, right? I understand what Bethesda kind of wanted to do here. Their aim was to give a more realistic version of what we have come to, our knowledge about space, right? Is that most of the time planets are going to be empty, yeah? And they thought that giving a realistic experience of what we know about space would be the play here. It's not a fun thing for game players. It's not a fun thing for game players to just deal with emptiness, to deal with not having things to do. So on that front of it, they failed. They weren't thinking about the fact that as a video game and for what game players traditionally need to stay engaged, that wasn't the best play, right? So, there's potential for it moving forward. Whether or not that potential will be tapped into, we'll see. I don't know that it potentially will or will not. It doesn't negate the fact that there is a lot of real estate to be used if people want to use it, if the developer wants to use it, if modders want to use it, it's there. Whether it'll be tapped into, time will tell, it just depends. I'm hoping that the 250-person team Bethesda established to continue developing Starfield does more to expand its universe over time. Right now, it's simply too empty. Even the cities and factions set up in the main quest, such as the United Colonies and the Freestar Collective, feel too sequestered to their own particular quadrants of the map to carry the weight of a galaxy-spanning space odyssey. After months of reflection, I realized that part of my frustration stems from the fact Starfield fails to instill a sense of wonder. In the Elder Scrolls series, there's a breadth of lore and landscapes that are always visible to you. You can read about or even sometimes meet the inhabitants of a distant land, but each game is generally contained in a specific part of Tamriel. The world exists as a place in my mind, and each location feels like a distinct part of the greater world. Starfield, which allows players to circumnavigate many of its 1,000 planets, feels empty by comparison. Going out and digging into its vast expanse rarely comes up with anything exciting, and this instantly collapses the size of Starfield's world as it exists in my mind. I currently have to go to very specific locations to get involved with quests that can make Starfield feel frustratingly small. This is a huge leap backward from past Bethesda games, yeah, and a massive shot in its own foot when it came to the expectations the developer instilled in excited fans during its 45-minute Starfield Direct. At least there's some good news around the bend. Shattered Space, the first expansion for Starfield, is set to release at some point in early 2024. As an added positive, it's slated to come free for anyone who ordered the premium edition. Not much is known about the content of that expansion pack, but I'm still holding out hope that Shattered Space begins to fill out this new universe with way more unique stuff to find. Likewise, when the official creation kit releases, we could also start seeing a plethora of user-made content mods filtered into the game's universe, closing the galaxy-wide gaps Bethesda left open in Starfield's initial launch. But it could be too little too late to convince many players to return, let alone view Starfield as the picture-perfect image of innovation that Bethesda seems to desperately want us to believe it is. Yeah, could be too little too late. That's kind of what I was wondering too, is like, how many people are still going to be interested in a universe that feels so bleak that they may have just lost interest already in even wanting to create content for it. That's why I was saying before that it was like, it depends on if people are going to utilize the real estate that's here to be used. You know, we'll just have to see what happens. Yeah, I mean, I think this kind of sums up very well a lot of my thoughts about what the game really provides to the game player. I didn't even play the game. I didn't feel like I needed to, really. It was, I think, a lot of what I was expecting the game to be, and I don't really feel a lot of, I haven't ever had a lot of anticipation or pull, a feeling of needing to get in here and experience this. It just hasn't really been there for me, as opposed to a lot of other Bethesda games. You know, a lot of the other, Elder Scrolls games, Fallout games, stuff like that. This one just hasn't been there for me, man. Well, I haven't seen, I don't know that, not too long ago you dropped something to me about the V Rising stuff, and we looked at it. I don't know if what you're talking about there would be new stuff or not, but we did look at some stuff that you dropped me not too long ago, man. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, saying that like a lot of modders don't want to, potentially, there's still a lot of people that play this game, right? And there'll be a lot of modders that, so it's not like everybody dislikes this game. That's what I was talking about before. So there are an amount of people that haven't enjoyed. There are an amount of people that have really enjoyed. I've seen both sides of it. I've talked to people that feel both ways about it. You know, I think what I was talking about before also is that it's definitely one of those games where it feels like you're on either side of it. There's not a lot of middle ground. Yeah. So to say that there just aren't going to be, there's a lot of modders that just don't want to make content. There could be. There could also be a lot of modders out there that, do enjoy this game and are interested in making. It's going to take time to tell. It's going to take time to tell how many people are interested in making content for this game. It could go either way, I think. I don't think that there's going to be as much interest in making content for this game as there has been for other previous Bethesda games. I'll say that. I don't think that there's as much hype about, you know, modders personally, but we could be surprised. It just depends, I think. And I do think it's going to be a time matter of seeing what people bring in. So, let's see. These things are so rough to read through, dude. I'll probably post this in the Discord. I do appreciate these. These things are so flippin' long. The new end zone. Yeah, we already read a little bit about that. I'll put this in the Discord. And I think what I would like to see from the devs is like maybe a like a video, you know, like give me a summary video or something. I like this stuff. It's so a lot of it gets so long to read through, dude, for the news and everything. So a lot of times what I'll do is be like, and I appreciate you letting me know. I do, buddy. Yeah, thanks. So I'll like touch on it real quick after we touch on the rest of the Starfield stuff, and then I'll like link it again for everybody, and I'll put it in the Discord for people to look at if they want to. It'd be nice to just have like some kind of summary dev video to go along with it, so they can like break down the more important parts, so that we can get a nice consensus view of what the more important parts of the updates are being brought to us, or even a bullet point thing or something. You know, it's cool that they do that, but a nice little breakdown would be cool too, just for the, you know, specifically like the news segment and stuff. You know, it'd be a little bit easier. But thanks, buddy. Yeah, I'll touch on it real quick. Starfield design director calls out unfair game criticism. Don't fool yourself into thinking you know why it is the way it is. Emil Pagliarulo says an awful lot of outspoken critics are disconnected from the realities of game development. Starfield did not land with quite the positive thump that just about everyone expected, and lots of people have thoughts about why. And that has apparently inspired Starfield design director Emil Pagliarulo to muse about how confident some of those critics are in their opinions, despite how disconnected they are from the process of actually making games. Yeah, yo, well played, Tinwin. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Yeah, no doubt about it, dude. Yeah. Very well played, sir. Yes. Yeah, I'll clap to that one, dude. Absolutely. Funny how disconnected some players are from the realities of game development, and yet they speak with complete authority, Pagliarulo said in a lengthy Twitter thread. I mean, I can guess what it takes to make a Hostess Twinkie, but I don't work in the factory. So what the heck do I know, really? Not a lot. Part of me really gets it. When you're a consumer and spend money on things, that gives you the right to complain about those things. I spend a lot of money on games every year. Sometimes it takes a lot for me to not scream into the internet's collective consciousness. Pagliarulo said he's held back by two constraints. Excuse me. He knows how hard it is to make games and has too much respect for those who do it. And it would be both unprofessional and uncool if he did. And back in the days when he was a game reviewer, he was absolutely that person who would say whatever I wanted about a game, good or bad. But in those days, he continued, he had no idea how much work and stress was involved in making a game. Now, after more than 20 years at Bethesda, he's well aware that the process of making games is a series of concessions and tough decisions. And naturally, that's changed his perspective. While he's not trying to change anyone's mind on the matter, he'd clearly like it if people were a little more thoughtful about their criticism. You can dislike parts of a game, you can hate on a game entirely, Pagliarulo tweeted, but don't fool yourself into thinking you know why it is the way it is unless it's somehow documented or verified, or how it got to be that way, good or bad. Chances are, unless you've made a game yourself, you don't know who made certain decisions. I think most of us know who make most of the decisions on the AAA front anymore, right? Who did specific work, how many people were actually available to do that work anytime challenges faced, or how often you had to overcome technology itself. This one is huge. So yes, love games, buy them, play them, and complain to your heart's content. Sort of the nature of the developer-player transactional relationship, but just know that the game you're playing is in some ways a freaking miracle in and of itself. Normal people have come together to work for years on one goal, to bring you fun and happiness, so it helps to remember that, and them. He doesn't mention Starfield by name once in this thread, but it's hard to imagine he could be talking about anything else. Unlike most Bethesda RPGs, which are just about universally acclaimed, Starfield fell flat. It's a good game, but when it held up to the last 20 years of Elder Scrolls and Fallout, it's just not good enough. But amidst the valid criticism or over-torqued complaints suggesting that Starfield is flat-out hot garbage, the maker of the Skyrim Together mod, for instance, recently announced that they'd abandoned it. This is what Tim was just talking about. Flat out hot garbage. The maker of the Skyrim Together mod, for instance, recently announced that they'd abandoned working on a planned Starfield Together mod because this game is flippin' trash. That's probably a bit much. There's acknowledgement that some criticism of Starfield is over the top in some of the replies to Pagliaru's tweet, but others make the point that you don't have to know how to make a Twinkie to know when one tastes bad. That maybe misses Pagliaru's central thesis a little bit, talking more about the process than the end result, but I think it's a valid position. I don't know anything about producing a TV show after all, but I do know why Manimal got canceled, and I'm still making jokes about it. Ultimately, Pagliarulo's not wrong. Even getting a small indie project from concept to launch is a Herculean feat, and as much as the lazy developers trope has taken hold in recent years, the reality is that just about everyone involved is making a game is fully committed and working hard to make it happen. Really is, as Pagliarulo said, just about a miracle that a lot of these games ever see the light of day. But I also have to wonder if he's maybe stirring up the waters unnecessarily. It's a valid perspective from a respected industry veteran, yes, but it also makes me think of Bethesda's campaign of posting cheeky responses to negative Starfield reviews on Steam. Sometimes it's better to just leave it well enough alone. In any event, Bethesda isn't done with Starfield yet. The studio recently said that the all new ways of traveling through the game, along with numerous other fixes and enhancements, are coming in future updates planned for this coming year. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, I don't know. I think that we see it a lot with big companies too, right? I mean, I think the bigger a company gets, the more people they hire, the more polluted they become with people that don't actually have a great idea of what fantastic video games are. They're more business-minded people, you know? And it really starts messing with the process. And some studios have continued to get very large and do a very good job. Larian, a prime example of a current studio that is killing it, doing a great job. They're very big, you know. I can name some AAA studios that still seem like they're doing great stuff, end over end. You know, Tango, the more recent article that we just did on YouTube about Santa Monica Studios, you know, they're doing great stuff, and not just doing great stuff, but in a content capacity, but also doing great things for their fan base and consumer base also. So I think there are ways about. I think anybody that thinks that game development is easy is out of their minds. I'm not a game developer, and I'm quite aware that game development is a very, very complex beast, right? Especially whenever you start talking about these massive companies with so many different divisions. It's so critical that communication is fluid. You know, you be very agile in the process of the project, so you can account for different things that you're not expecting to happen, so that you can be fluid and change and pivot when you need to pivot and things like that. You know, it's a difficult thing. The larger a company gets, the more moving parts there are, and it's definitely a difficult thing to navigate. Yeah, But I do think that quite often they lose sight of what has made them great in the first place. They get too... it almost seems like 8 times out of 10, these companies just get too polluted with business-minded people that have no idea what it means to create a great video game anymore. And the quality of their products suffer for it, you know? So, yeah, I agree with that. You know, unfair criticism. Yeah, I mean, this is, if you're in the, look, I talk about this a lot, especially on the AAA front. You want to talk about massive budgets, right, for these video games. And we're at a stage now with video game development where as much, if not more, than half of the budget for games is being put into promotion and marketing for the games, as opposed to the actual game creation itself, right? So a lot of these companies get more worried about actually promoting these products, over-promising, right? Over-promising, hyping up these products. And then how many times do we see it happen where the product gets released? It doesn't fulfill the promises of the content that was supposed to be in it, or it gets released and it's not finished. So absolutely, you should be criticized. Yeah. At the end of the day, these are businesses. The industry they're in is providing us as the consumer with a product of a video game. And if they're not doing what they promise in providing us with the content that they told us they were going to give us and a finished project, a finished product, right, that we can fully functional play on release, they absolutely deserve to be criticized. Now, you can't ever make everybody happy. That's just a fact. So, you know, we all know that. These companies have to understand that. You've just got to learn how to have a little bit of some thick skin, because it's inevitable you're going to get some Karens out there that you just can't make some people happy. They're going to look to find anything and everything they can to be unhappy about, to be critical of, right? But that just comes with the territory. It doesn't change the fact that you're in the business of providing us as the consumer with a product. And if you're not meeting those expectations and those promises of a fully finished product that contains all the content you promised, you should get wrecked. You should be criticized. You shouldn't be able to continue creating products, honestly. People should quit buying your stuff and you should dissolve. If you're not giving us finished quality products, I'll stand by that. Look, Soup, I'm not a fan of them, dude. You know, Arcane, right? Isn't that who that is? Arcane? Well, EA's the publisher, friendo. I think EA's their subsidiary that actually makes the game for them. Respawn, my bad, Respawn. Not Arcane. Arcane's flipping, never mind. I've been talking about Arcane too much. Respawn. So apparently this game is finally getting fixed on PC. But this game was pretty balls. and I've been pretty outspoken about Respawn and the things that they've done, and you know, Star Wars Jedi, the first Jedi game, it had its issues on release, and then this one was even worse. And I think Respawn is a company that people should be very, very hesitant about buying into games on release, for sure. And the thing that really, really, you know, pisses me off is like, come on, man. You can't do that. You blame it on the engine. They knew this game wasn't ready. They released it anyways. It wasn't ready for any platform, and they released it anyways. That's not our fault. That's their job. What up, Murdoch? There have been plenty of other Unreal Engine 4 games that have been released that have felt much more polished than this game has, okay? So I'm not going to buy the whole, oh, it's the engine's fault cop out, okay? It's not going to work for me. Sorry. It's not going to happen, dude. Not going to happen. But this is just a, you know, another example of a company releasing a game unfinished, feeling like they can lean on connectivity as a tool and finish the game after the fact, and it'll be okay, mostly because it says Star Wars on it. You know what I mean? Terrible. Nobody should be supporting this kind of crap, you know? Well, and here's the other thing. Before this game was even fixed, they had already announced that they were working on the third one. You know? Get wrecked, dude. Who does that? What kind of company does that crap other than one that just absolutely should not be supported, dude? Respawn had already announced with EA that they were starting production on the third Jedi game, Star Wars Jedi game. And this game hadn't even been fixed yet. Get wrecked, dude. Nobody should be buying these games. It's disgusting. You know? Sorry. That's just gross, man. There's no way. Get wrecked. Disgusting. This is the last thing I have. Again, like I was just talking about, dude, it just comes down to that same thing. It's, you know, these are companies, and what they have to do is meet those expectations that they're putting upon people for the content that the game is supposed to have for us, and as well as providing a finished product. You know, that's their job. And if they do that, then they don't get criticized. You know, I mean, but it feels like a rarity nowadays that these companies actually do what they're supposed to do in providing us a finished product, a complete product. But again, I mean, we're the only ones that can protect ourselves from it, because this industry it's a weird industry. We don't have any kind of like regulatory committees or organizations that go, you know, place fines or anything like that on these companies for scamming us, you know, with bad products. It's a weird situation, man. So we kind of have to take it upon ourselves to pay attention to the ones that do a bad job and don't support them moving forward, man. It's on us, unfortunately. It just is. It is what it is. But that is what it is. So thanks to Tinwin for this. If you guys haven't played V Rising, look, I was actually talking about V Rising the other day, Tinwin, and I don't know if you've stayed up to date with it, but dude, one of my biggest criticisms about this game was inventory management. Within your castle area and everything, dude, you had to always be managing your inventory. There were so many resources. So anytime you wanted to make anything, it was pull resources out, use what you needed, put it back in. Instead of it just auto utilizing resources out of your storage. God, it's probably why I won't ever go back and play it, honestly. This game is a good game. It's really, really cool. It's got a lot of really cool stuff to it. And one of the things that I really enjoyed about it was the base building and the crafting systems and stuff. But it's flipping maulding having to deal with the resource management in the game because it won't auto allocate out of your storage. It feels really rough, as opposed to like the beta that we were just trying out. Have they said anything about it? Because man, it would be so huge for this game. Games like this benefit so greatly from that type of quality of life. This game was so much fun, but it was so very time consuming. They are aware. Yeah, it's so time consuming, dude. I think that's one of those things that we talk about a lot, right? It's in the details of games and the quality of life things that you're giving to the game player. Dude, this game was a lot of fun. There's so much to enjoy about it. I absolutely enjoyed my time in this game, but I spent an absurd amount of time just dealing with manual resource management that felt absolutely unnecessary. And that's why currently I would not even consider going back and playing this game anymore, because it got too brutal, you know. It starts feeling way too cumbersome for me. I think that's one of those things they really have to focus on, man. The game's dope. There's so much to love about it. But in a game that's so resource heavy, man, it's so taxing. I appreciate this. I will throw this in the Discord. I'm not going to read all this, guys. But this is a dev update 23 for V Rising. Shout out to Timwin. Thanks, buddy. Carnivorous Ketchup. Tomorrow's Torment. Community Rising. Bloodthirst. Roleplay. There's a bunch of stuff to read in here. These are very, very long for me to go through in the news segment, so I don't really do that. We have played this here. True and I played it extensively together. Not like in full or anything. We played a good amount of it together. Timwin hopped in a little bit. Ferret hopped in a little bit, and it was cool. Oh yeah, Soup. Yeah, I know what Spike TV is. Yep. Spike TV was more like, and actually G4 TV was Spike TV actually had like a lot of different stuff on it. G4 TV was more like a constant gaming channel. You know who Olivia Munn is, dude? Hold on. So I'll link this for you guys again. Thanks, Timwin, and I'll throw this in the Discord if you guys want to take a look at it. There you go. Yeah, check this out, dude. So Spike TV had a lot of different shit. It wasn't just about gaming. It had like Fear Factor stuff. It had like but yeah, I do think they had like some Game Awards stuff on there back in the day. G4 TV was like, what the crap just happened? G4, I think TV was more like all about the video game universe and stuff like that. Stop that. Technology and stuff. Yeah. And this was what? Who were the hosts? Olivia Munn, and who else was on here, dude? Adam Sessler, dude. And Kevin Pereira. Yeah, dude. Adam Sessler, Kevin Pereira. Yeah, dude. These guys were fun. Attack of X-Play, Attack of the Show. There was a whole bunch of stuff. Like early 2010s, dude. G4 was the spot, man. There was a lot of stuff to watch on here. But they did some other stuff as well, right? Like they would show stuff like Late Night with Jimmy Fallon, American Ninja Warrior on here. It wasn't just video gaming stuff, I don't think. But Spike was kind of the same thing. I think, dude, I would have to go back and like really educate myself on a lot of this older TV stuff. But I think, yeah, Attack of the Show was great, dude. Where was Attack of the Show? Is that on here? But yeah, Olivia Munn was like part of this and everything too. Attack of the Show, Attack of the Show, Attack of the Show. Yeah. Attack of the Show was run from 2005 to 2013. Weeknights on G4, Fuel TV. Yeah. And that's where Olivia Munn, that's where at least I first knew her from, you know? So there's a lot of the old TV kind of media stuff that was all about video games and technology and stuff like that for sure. Yeah, you would just need to, I mean, dude, it's been so long since I thought about that kind of stuff. Yeah. Skyrim was shown there. Yeah, I'm sure, dude. I mean, anything from back around that time period, you know, I'm sure had like a little bit of some airtime and was shown off around, you know, the whole, it's changed a lot over the past like 10 to 15 years in the way that they do a lot of the promotional stuff for the video gaming industry and the tech industry and things like that. I mean, you know, like we were just talking about this morning in the news, the E3 conventions are done, and those for years and years and years were a huge thing every year for technology and gaming developers, publishers, you name it. That's gone now, big in part because of the pandemic kind of messed that up. And then obviously they kind of messed up by not providing some alternate means of holding those showcases, you know. But they still do, I think it's still the same company that does like PAX West, PAX East, all that stuff. So they're still doing some showcases and everything like that, you know, events and things of that nature. Yeah. So the Game Awards stuff, kind of Summer Games Fest, all that stuff. Yeah. And as well as, you know, a lot of these companies have found that they didn't really need E3 anymore. They could just do their own productions because online's easy. Online platforms, streaming platforms are easy. You know, everybody's got their, you know, all these companies have their own Twitch channels, YouTube pages, you name it, you know, and they can put on their own productions. They don't even need to necessarily be at E3. It was just something that was there for a while. And since E3, you know, E3 found themselves in a, you know, that event, that showcase and everything, they found themselves in a bad spot because of the pandemic, and then they didn't help themselves at all. But I called it years ago that it was going to die off, and you know, it's happened. So I don't know. It's a good news segment, guys. I appreciate it. We're going to get ready for some Baldur's Gate 3 with our buddy Pinky. Happy Thursday, by the way. there's a lot of good stuff to cover today, and I appreciate everybody that was here and a part of it and contributing to the content and the topics and stuff we cover and everything, man. I really do. It always feels like a long time having a day off, so it's good to be back. PSA, tomorrow will be about a half-day stream. Yeah. So I've got a bit of a family event going on tomorrow, so I'll probably do the news. We'll game for 2 or 3 hours, and then I'll call it. So it'll probably be more like a 5-hour stream rather than like an 8-hour stream. So just be prepared for that. If we end up going a little bit longer, cool, but just be prepared for more like a 5-hour stream or something tomorrow. So sorry about it, but you know, just got some stuff that we're going to be celebrating as a family and everything. So hope you understand, and I appreciate you understanding. We'll still get some content in. It just won't be the normal, like, you know, 8 or 9 hours, all right? But I'll try to make sure we get a good, nice, long stream in today to make up for it, okay? So if anybody's been able to hang out this morning and be a part of what we do, and or maybe you're seeing this as a VOD later on, you're not familiar with what we do here in this community, this is the way we start off all of our streams. We're live 6 days a week, every day but Wednesday, so we're just now working our way back from our day off. We always start off with video gaming news, trying to stay current with what's going on in the industry. We like to have conversations about a lot of these hot topics that we come across and flesh out these ideas, talk about the good companies, you know, that we feel like are worth supporting and promoting in the industry, that take care of us, and therefore we should want to take care of them, and maybe highlight some of the more diabolical companies that are doing bad stuff in the industry that we want to maybe try and educate people on not supporting as much, because they've shown us they're willing to scam us or do bad things for the industry, things of that nature. There's a lot of things we cover. We like to just try to promote a healthier video gaming industry all the way around, and you know, stay current on what's going on in the industry as well. So this is the way we start things off. As we're about to do right now, we'll segue out of video gaming news and we'll go play games for the rest of the day. We're going to go play more Baldur's Gate 3 with our buddy and resident mod. My name is Pinky, and we're going to have a good day. So if you're enjoying the content, whether you're seeing it live now or this as a VOD later, know that all of our previous video gaming news segments, most of our previous playthroughs, funny clips and highlights, that kind of stuff is out there on the Twitch channel as well as the YouTube channel, so you can go check out some of the previous stuff we've done. And we're always looking for more people to come be a part of what we do when we are live. So if you're enjoying the content that you're being exposed to, then I would prompt you to come hang out with us when we are live. We got an amazing community of people here. It's all about spreading good vibes. Obviously, video games bring us together, but you know, we try to cultivate and maintain a community here about taking care of one another. You know, being void of toxicity, being civil about things, and just spreading some good vibes and having a good time, man. So if that sounds like your jam, then come be a part of it, okay, when we are live. Other than that, man, stay healthy, stay safe, be kind. Apparently, I was joker-faced there. Appreciate it. And we'll be back with more video gaming news tomorrow for December 15th, all right? I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to run us an outro for the news real quick, but as soon as that's over, we'll start doing some video gaming, all right?
Unless you heard it from me, got it from me, then you ain't heard it from me. All the energy, guys know that they fly, know that they ride or die. My guys know that they fly.